Hello, all my lovelies. I'm Suki the Brown-Eyed Stitcher, and this is Flosstube number 29. This one is going to be on the short side. As I was pulling in projects, I realized I think I've only stitched on 5 or 6 projects in the last couple weeks, which I guess isn't that unusual, but considering the last video I showed over 20 projects, it feels small to only show 5 or 6. So, let's just get started and see what happens, okay? So, I remember that in my last video I said I was going to work on the little rabbit, and then the following week I was going to work on the Shire? Whatever piece was next. I think it's the Shire, yeah. And then I'd be back here and making a video. Well, I did work on the rabbit, but not very much. In that 1 week I was supposed to, my aim was to reach 50%. It had been at 40%, my aim was 50%. It is at 43% now. Oh, I didn't show you. Yes, here's the little rabbit. It's from the sewing shop. The artist is Miriam Rousseau. It's called Snowshoe Hare 8, I think. Anyway, I am stitching this for Kaylee Tent Stitch, who is the owner of the sewing shop. And you can see his little paws here. That's what is going on right here. You can't see the outline of it totally yet, but that is what's going on there. He is definitely a favorite of people's. Anytime I post about this rabbit, he shows up in with lots of comments. So I do need to get back to him, but I'll explain why. I'll explain why he didn't get a lot of work. Actually, so in my last video I showed Nomies, Snuggle Up Nomies, and I talked about how that was like a challenge with somebody else, and I really was just like so focused on finishing, and it felt so good. And since finishing Nomies, I've still been feeling the pull to like finish things. I haven't finished anything since then. However, I did reach a pretty big partial finish, we're gonna call it, on Woodland Enchantress, which I will show you next. That was just really pulling me, like, get that background finished. And once I got that background finished, there's another piece, my current, like, smallest piece. It's like, ooh, now let's focus on that one. See if I can get that piece finished by the end of this month. It's very possible, and I'm sure I'll do it. I'm not concerned about that, but that's kind of derailed what I had been thinking that I was going to do, which was work on the rabbit and then the Shire. The other thing that derailed my plans is the last week and a half has kind of been bonkers. I've shared the story on a live stream recently about it, over 24 hours of cross stitch. Again, we'll talk about that today. So I will direct you to that video. It's the 24 hours of cross stitch live stream. It's the first one, and So if you want to know about that, I don't know, updates in my life, and some very, very happy things, go watch that video. Start around minute 15 and go for about an hour. That's the minimum I would recommend if you want to know about, really about the hour mark. You'll know. You can choose how much you watch or not, but at a minimum, if you want to kind of hear what's been going on, I don't want to recap it now because it took me 45 minutes in the first place, so let's not do it now. But it's very, very good things. It has to do with January. You all know how I crashed in January, right? How things have been getting better. 2 videos ago, I said I got some super good news. And then things got even better. So, very good. It's very, very good. But yes, I will just refer you to that video. 24 hours of cross stitch, the first one, the first part. I think there's 7 parts of live streams, okay? Anyway. Okay, Woodland Enchantress. This is a gold collection from Dimensions. I don't know why I can't just say Dimensions Gold Collection Kit, because that's normally what I say. Anyway, it's called Woodland Enchantress. Ruth Sanderson is the artist. And I had been working on the background. This has been my, roughly speaking, it's been like my daily stitch. I aim for 30 minutes a day. Over the last couple weeks, I've definitely spent over 30 minutes a day working on that background and wanting to get it done. But that's the aim, 30 minutes a day, more or less. Now, I just kind of want to say, at the beginning of the year, when I started this as my daily piece, I had about this much done. Something like that. I haven't actually gone back and looked to see how much was done. But it was something like this. January 1st, when I said, this is going to be like my daily stitch. And at the time I was like, this is going to take all year long to finish. But here we are, approaching the end of April. It's the 4th month of the year. And look at this. Doesn't that look so good? Every time I show it, I can't stop staring at it. So, I worked entirely on the background, and I just followed the shape of her all the way around here. Because if you've not worked one of these kits before, a lot of times the background is half crosses. Not completely, but the majority of it is half cross. But the main subject is full cross, so you get this different dimension going on because of that. Some areas that are full cross is like this, like goldish stripe. That color is a full cross. Right in here, the center of the glowiness is a full cross. And down in here, also the flowers and the greenery and the red flowers, those are all full cross. Some of these colors are full cross too. But all the rest of this was half cross. 2, 3, no, 3, 4, 5, or 6 strands. The full cross are all 2 strands, so that's nice. Well, there might be one that's 3 strand, I don't. But most of them at least are 2 strand. So it just, in my mind, actually became easier to just stick with all the half cross and then go into all the full cross. So now, just yesterday, I started in on her. I actually had her all set up very nicely in a Q-snap, and then today realized I was going to have to take it out so I could show you this. But it is so worth it, because isn't that amazing? So now the plan is to work starting from here, and I will work my way this way. I love it. I love it so much. So I don't know when I'm going to finish this, but it seems like it will not take me all year. Like at the beginning of the year, it felt like I was going to take. So that's exciting. I started this piece in 2019. It's my second oldest project, my oldest being Frodo and Galadriel. This is my second oldest project. All right. So having reached that mile marker moment, I guess, of finishing the background for Woodland Enchantress, now it feels like, okay, that can just be stitch a daily 30 stitch again, not there's no more pull to a finish on that, because the background was that finish that I was feeling pulled to do. However, I'm feeling pulled to finish this one now. This is How Great Thou Art by my Big Toe Designs. It is my smallest piece currently, which might be why it feels like it was the closest to a finish, so I think that's probably why I'm feeling pulled to finishing that one. It is in one of my Alara bags. I can't really show you the other side because the pattern is right there. What's really nice, ooh, maybe I can, here, I'll do this. So imagine this is the pattern. So when I take this, because the pattern fully fits on that paper, so I'm able to just pull out my project and leave the pattern right here in the double vinyl pocket. I don't have to pull out the paper at all. It's perfect. It's on, this one is on a 28 count. Ooh, I wasn't telling you anything about fabrics. This is a 28 count. The rabbit was a 28 count. Woodland is on whatever the kit is, 16 count, 18 count, 16. It's whatever the dimensions kit fabric is, 16 count. This is 28 count. Stitched 2 strands over 2. It uses Weeks Dye Works. And here we are right now. Look at that. It has four different colors. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 colors. I am almost done this flower. If you can see, there's some leaf stuff. Just, okay, really? You see that little leaf right there? That's all that's missing on this side. And then there's this line of text. There is a line about that big here. Obviously different words, but there. And then this border is repeated on the bottom but flipped so that the bumpiness, the scallop edge, is on top. That's all that's left. Now that border is still significant, but Most of it is this same, I want to call it gunmetal, but I don't think that's the name. Oh, it is gunmetal. Yeah, that gunmetal is also the big words here. This red is called rum raisin. This lighter gray is dolphin, and the green is tarragon. So that's where that's at. I have a week. I am positive I can finish that in a week. So that's what we're going to do, is get that one finished. Okay, so 24 hours of cross stitch was this last weekend, and what I decided to do was start off on my bookshelf. I put 1,800-ish stitches on it during 24 hours of cross stitch, basically 3 days worth of stitching, more or less. I did that, and I'll show you that. Obviously I will show you my bookshelf. After that, I stitched on Woodland Enchantress until I got that background finished. And then I had a couple different votes or suggestions or nudges from people to pull out my chatelaine, because it's been a very long time since I've stitched on that chatelaine. So I was very happy for that nudge. So I brought it out and got some stitches in. This is Autumn Water Garden Mandala. And the pictures just never really do them justice. Like, you have to go and search people's stitched pictures to get anywhere near the beauty of these pieces. So I'm stitching this completely as called for, with all the called for flosses, which I don't really want to get into, because I don't think that I will remember. But here we are. Okay, just for scale, there's my hand. Okay. Let me pull out this picture. You see that square there? That's where we're working. Just that part. Right there. Like, can you see how big this is going to be? So I finished up the little 1/1 stitches, and as I was stitching it, I realized these are fish. That is so cute. Little 1/1 fish all the way around here. Then I put in this is a Gloriana color, deep sea blue, I think. I had these were already in, but I put them in on the other 3 sides. And then this right here, this is Petite Treasure braid, and it is all the way around. There's 2 colors I put in. One was a turquoise and one was a pale avocado. And it actually made me laugh because during 24 hours of cross stitch, when I was putting in pale avocado, we had just been talking about generations and how many generations we have represented in this stitching community. On that stream particularly, we had, I think we had all. We might not have had any Gen Zs there currently, but Like we had all the other ones. There were even some generation alphas there. Just not really paying attention. Anyway, so it was very funny. I am a millennial, and so it was very, very funny to me that I was putting in an avocado color right when we had been talking about generations. So, and then this is a Dinky Dyes color, and that is what it will look like all the way around, where it comes down in here. Other than this color, I am fairly positive that all of the remaining blank spaces here are beads and specialty stitches. Like no more cross stitches aside from the color that will come down like that. Isn't that kind of bonkers? Like how much there are the specialty stitches and back stitches and beads that will go in here. I am going to do all the cross stitching first. I don't think I'm going to do it as I go. I could only do it as I went if I got some scroll rods, which I still need to do for Mayari, and I don't think I want to do that here. I could change my mind in the future, but this is not yet one of my like focus regular pieces, so it's not a decision I need to make at this point anyway. But I'm very happy. So yeah, Dinky Dyes, Gloriana's Petite Treasure Braid. Oh, the Petite Treasure Braid. So it was beautiful to work with. Any other metallic thread that I've ever used, I use beeswax with, and then I can basically stitch it like a regular thread. Petite Treasure Braid, no beeswax needed. It's stitched up beautifully. So if you don't like working with a thread conditioner of any kind, then convert all your metallics to Petite Treasure Braid. Otherwise, thread conditioner does fantastic. So that's my chatelaine. This is a 32 count. Let me make sure on that. Oh, I don't know where I have it. 28 count. 28 count antique white casual linen. 28 count made sense for bead stuff. But yes, that's where it is. My beautiful chatelaine. Oh, and I do have a little arrow right here so that I always know which way is up on my design. Just to be safe, you know? Okay. So that was fun to work on, and I'm very glad that I did. So Treasure Hunt Bookshelf is artwork by Amy Stewart. It's charted by Heaven and Earth Design. I am aiming for a finish on October 31st, 2024. So this shelf will be finished by October 31st-ish, maybe a week later in November. And then I will start in on this bottom shelf and take a year to do that bottom shelf. Yeah. And then it'll be done. And it's going to be amazing. And I will spend every penny I am required to spend to frame it with a museum glass and a really nice frame. Like, this is masterpiece worthy. Like, I really hope it doesn't cost me $1,000, but if it does, it's well worth it. Like, that is less than the amount of time, like, I spent on it, I'm sure, especially by the time I'm done. So I put in 5,899 stitches. It's at 64.58%. This is a 28 count. Easy guide, easy count, whatever you call it. It is tent stitch. So, we've got a butterfly. It's not fully finished, but it looks fantastic. I love it. And then look at this. Doesn't this look so cool? So cool. And the, like, it's amazing. Supersize, max color. The end of the section ends around this butterfly, and the diagonal hits bottom and top corner equally. So, by the next time you see it, I probably will have reached that diagonal. Oh, it looks so good. So good, guys. Here's the whole shelf. This is halfway through that first shelf, or the entire shelf. It's here. It looks like there's so much more to be stitched than has been stitched, just because this is like this looming blankness. I don't know. But it looks amazing. I don't think I will ever have a video that I do this that I don't say how amazing it is, because it is. It's amazing. I just have one more project. This is a stamped kit. I probably should have shown this one like before, but it was in a different place. This one I'm fostering from Alara, and here's the whole thing. Okay, I'm going to show you the back. You can see like this purple and the white. The stamping has, like, you can see through, so it's a little hard to see exactly where. But all of this purple, white, and yellow, that's all stitched. So if you basically look from here up, there's some over here for me to stitch still, but that's where it is now. Which brings me to a question. I watched somebody's Flosstube video, and I can't remember who, and they referenced somebody else's Flosstube video, whom I also can't remember, about a company who is starting to sell, I think they're a brand new company, but they are doing licensed stamped kits. I really, really would like to know who this is, but I don't know which video I heard it about another person, and I don't remember who the other person is. So, if any of you know what company I'm talking about, or know what Flosstuber has ever mentioned anything about this, please let me know. I would love to know and support a company that's doing stamped, licensed work. I think it's a fantastic thing, because stamped, the thing about stamped is that if the stamping on the fabric is good, you don't need the pattern at all. I don't carry around the paper pattern because I haven't ever needed to reference it, unless I have bad lighting, in which case I just tend to just work somewhere different. So I just have this and the thread, and it fits in this pouch. Hi, pandas. It fits in this pouch. I can throw this in my purse. I can grab it whenever I need something incredibly easy. For some reason, eliminating the pattern portion of it makes it even easier to work on. in times of low brain capacity, low emotional capacity. So I really, really like that. And so I really, really loved hearing that there was a company out there that was getting started with licensed stamped work. And I'd love to support them. And I know there are others of you who would also love to do that. Obviously, I didn't love it enough to write it down at the time. I don't know why I didn't write it down. Anybody's name, I don't think I heard the company's name. It's so lame. But if you have heard of this at all, please point me in some direction because I already told you why. I don't need to tell you again. So, it's been 30 minutes. That's what I stitched on. I will tell you what is coming up though. So, my plan is to work, Treasure Hunt Bookshelf, right? Woodland Enchantress, those are like my 2 regular daily things. How Great Thou Art, I want finished. And then it's probably going to be Rabbit again because he needs attention. He needs a lot of attention. However, May is fast approaching. And I have decided to do Middle-earth Mania. And I'm very, very excited for this. I have mostly my plans in place. I have 5 projects for my Lord of the Rings wall started. And then my friend Chrissy, she had an error with, she had a problem big enough with one of her pieces, the Ranger, that she needed to restart it. This was a couple months ago, and I told her that when she was ready and I was ready, maybe we could start it together. Me for the first time, her for the second time. So I am now emotionally ready to start the Ranger, and she's also ready. So we're going to start that in May. That is the Ranger by Matt Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. So we're going to start that in May, which will give me a total of 6 Lord of the Rings pieces started. So I realized 6 pieces, there's 3 Hobbit movies and 3 Lord of the Rings movies. So each project is going to get a 5-day time span. And during that 5-day time span, I will start at the beginning of The Hobbit and go through the Lord of the Rings. I'm very excited for this. So in May, that's what I'm going to do, is Middle-earth Mania, stitch on all of those things, have a new start, and watch the movies. Yeah, I'm excited for this. I think starting Ranger is also why I'm feeling a pull to finish How Great Thou Art. Because currently I have 26 whips plus 3 fostered, which is 29. And I think I'd like to keep this below 30. Like, I don't even want to hit 30. So if I'm going to start the Ranger, I need something finished, and How Great Thou Art is one I can finish. So I think that's kind of where I am mentally, is that. And then I do have another project that I need to start because it's a Christmas present, which means I'm gonna need to figure out finishing something else. Maybe one of my fostered projects, like the back stitching for the Sorceress, for Alara. I should do that. So maybe when I finish How Great Thou Art, it'll kind of be like the rabbit and back stitching. Yeah. Who knows? I still haven't touched my Whip Go pieces for April, which is Pavan for These Times by Long Dog Sampler and Cirque de Corot from Ink Circles. All I need to do is stitch on them and I can call it finished, but I haven't. And I'm actually not feeling a pull to right now because of these other things, so we will see. It just might be that June is like whip go catch up and I do April, May, and June in June. We'll see. That's my plans. I haven't bought anything. I actually went to Hobby Lobby. I ran out of a color and I didn't have it in my backup floss. So I went to Hobby Lobby for one skein of floss, and the cashier was very impressed at my restraint for one skein of floss only. However, I did admit that I did look for a decor item that was like a shaggy cow on a black background, and it was oval and the frame was ornate, like a goldish kind of ornate thing. And I had previously seen it and I was like, no, let's just wait. But then that day that I had gone in, I was like, if that is still there, I am absolutely buying it. It was not still there. That was sad, but I'm okay. Because something like that will come into my life again, and I will act on it then, or something like that. Maybe I won't. Maybe I will just continuously look for a right shaggy cow picture for my home, and I will just never acquire one. That could be a thing. Shaggy cows have nothing to do with cross-stitching. Oh, man. Okay, so 36 minutes. Yep, this is good. I was going to say, my next video in 2 weeks is going to be a full-on whip parade. I hadn't intended my last video to be practically a full whip parade. That's just what I stitched on. However, my next video will mark 18 months, a year and a half of being on Flosstube. And I like to do a whip parade every 6 months, so I'm very excited for that. So this one's short, which my daughter is very happy about for editing purposes, but the next one will be long, so it equals out for her, I think. Okay. Much love to you. If you need anything at all, please reach out to me. We can celebrate, we can be sad, we can get you through a day, a moment, whatever it is. Hugs, like funny gifts, we can talk about stitching, whatever you need. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be alone. And I love you. I will talk to you later. Bye, my friends.